So I saw a YouTube video last night, showcasing a server that, as the title says right here, takes you back to 2011. And I couldn't resist. And watching the server, I joined it a little bit ago, just to like see if I can get everything working, all the server textures and whatnot. Um, man, oh man, is this so crazy cool. I grew up watching like the early development of like Minecraft, like the beta versions and stuff, and I started playing the game on Pocket Edition, but on PC I played like version 1.0, 1.0, you know. And watching this video and hopping on here and thinking about like how cool like this place is, like playing this version of the game and just thinking back to like my childhood and just all the feelings, all the emotions, you know. Um, I didn't realize how good I had it as a kid until now, you know. Um, this is definitely, I think, something I'm gonna keep playing on in my free time. Man, this is just so cool. So when I first started playing the game, right? Pretty much my whole class was on this one server, and it was essentially like a server like this that was like no commands, no nothing, no protections, anything like that. It was just like an SMP, and at max there were like maybe 20 people on it. I don't remember the name of it, but like literally everyone in my class played on it in school back in like 5th grade or whatever, when like I don't know where the heck I'm going, when the game came out, and it was just so cool. So this just brings back so many emotions, so many memories. But uh uh it's just, yeah, I didn't realize how blessed and fortunate I was as a kid, like playing this game. Like this was like part of my childhood. This is most of the childhood that I remember, you know, being like at the age of 10. um and you never know how good something is until it's gone, you know. I don't know what I'm gonna do or where I'm going. I think I'm just gonna walk around and chat. But yeah, I'm sure, I don't know, looking back, you maybe don't like the feeling of nostalgia, or you do, right? And trust me, you don't like, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna miss this, you know, being a kid. I'm not gonna miss being in, you know, 8th grade, being in high school and stuff. Once you're out of that, I think you kind of do, in my opinion, right? I don't miss doing the stress of school and you know, the hard parts of you know, growing up, but it made me the person I am today, you know. I have no idea where the heck to go. um I think as a kid I took a lot of things for granted. My family was like middle class, you know. um and I think with that, I always thought that we're, as a kid, I don't know, maybe you think that you're better off than you are, maybe not. I remember when we moved, like we had to move houses, um, at one point in time, and it was like right at the beginning of a school year. I didn't move schools or anything like that, so I was really fortunate. But I remember like freaking out and thinking that we had to move and we didn't have any money and stuff, even though the house was like, it was a pretty nice house. Um, like giving my parents like all my money and like allowances and stuff. Uh, I'll take some bread, thank you. Free, free baguette. Um, and I heard just like the community on here is so not. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Goodness. I need another one. Um, yeah, just I don't know. How do you eat? There we go. Thank you. Um, and I remember so like feeling really fortunate and oh, you gotta pay with diamonds. Oh, this is cool. I don't want to steal anything. Um, but I also remember being kind of selfish as a kid and um, not realizing being aware of how I maybe made other people feel. Uh, maybe being a little greedy um, and stuff, and just not being as aware, right? Uh, but I think at an early age, earlier than most, I kind of started to develop that like sense of awareness. Like I definitely feel like still to this day, like I can be greedy, I can be selfish, and that's not the person I want to be. But looking back, I think I tried my best to realize my behavior and work to change it. Um, but I just remember all the good days, coming home from school, hopping on, playing on a server just like this. Yes, it was more like it was a newer version. This is based on the beta version 1.7.3, so there's no hunger yet. Uh, but like I remember getting the game and it was like version 1.0, like an OG member. And it's just crazy watching the game like go through everything it went through to get to where it is now and it being the best-selling game of all time. Like it's crazy, Being a kid in 2011 was great. In all honesty, I definitely think everything was more like simple. I would come home from school and I wanted to play, hop on a server with my friends. We hopped on a server just like this where we like we would chat with the owners. It'd be chill. And then I think most of the servers I played as a kid, like the owner was really present. But it was a server like this, and there were no warps or commands or anything like that. Um, and then later, I remember being a little bit older, and I got like my first like laptop, playing on a server that was a lot more polished and had like mini games and warps and stuff. And man, I was so sad to see when that server got shut down. It was called Free World, but I don't remember the name of the first server like we played that was pretty much like this, just like bare bones. Um, yeah, everything was more simple. Like I would hop on on like my parents' computer, play the game. Was not a fancy computer at all. No, no nothing. And we would use the phone to talk to each other. Like I call up one of my friends, and we would sit and talk. And then eventually, like we used Skype, which man, I can't remember the last time I logged on to Skype. And now there's like Discord and whatnot. Um, my gosh, what a time, If I could go back, I would. Absolutely. It's so crazy as you watch something like being part of like not like a legacy, but like watching something like get created, born, and then just seeing how it grows up. I don't even know what to say. This is just really cool. And I've played a couple of like the earlier versions just for fun and stuff, but it hasn't hit. It never really hit until now. But yeah, no, being a kid in 2011 was so cool. There were everything was simple. Like most of my friends, like we played like the Pocket Edition. And a crazy Friday night was going to like sleep over and all playing Pocket Edition Minecraft until like 5 in the morning. And just being excited about everything. It was so crazy seeing all the new updates come out before our eyes. Like I can't remember the last time I was excited about like when a game got updated. It's also crazy watching just as you get older, how you perceive things and you get kind of less excited about a game release or, something like that. Uh, oh man, I hear another skeleton. Please no. I miss, yeah, just those I feel like were the best times of, not of my life, but, I had responsibility as a kid. Do I wish I had less? Kinda. You know, I enjoy having my own car that's, brand new. In order to have that, I have to work and have a job and be reliable at my job so I can continue being able to have a car, have a place to live, It's not like that. It's like, oh, I hated having chores as a kid. No, it teaches you foundational lessons to survive and be an adult. I have no idea where you're supposed to go to, like, if you want to build, but man, I would love to maybe reach out, see if any of my friends want to play on like a server like this. I remember as we got older, like at 10 years old, none of my friends knew how to like have their own server, like that's a lot of responsibility, I think, and didn't want to DDoS our parents' internet or whatever, but I think around like maybe like 13 or so, a couple of my friends had like their own servers that we would go through and play on and stuff like that, and just such a blast. It's crazy that like I made a video about this, about how you'll lose friends along the way. You're sitting here playing on a server one day with your friends, and then 10 years later, I haven't talked to some of those guys in years. I'm pretty fortunate that a lot of the guys I used to play with, like two, three of them, I actually got to work with. Such a blessing, and I owe this game to a lot of our friendship with them. Can I reach this? I don't think I can. It's so cool, Don't take. I think the lesson I could. Oops. I'm sorry. Don't ban me, please. I didn't mean to grieve. The lesson I would teach myself, or want to go back and teach myself, is that, yeah, you're always told like, oh, don't take things for granted and stuff. If you're at a younger age, don't take your time for granted. I remember being in high school even, and wanting, like, I can't wait for high school to be done so I can get my own car, so I can get a job, so I can get an apartment and move out, and wanting to rush through things. I remember being in middle school and going through parts of middle school and not enjoying it. I think that's common and something that everyone experiences, but wishing for it to be over. And now I'm here wishing that it never ended, regardless of how much I liked or disliked it, And it's easy that, oh, like, the times were hard, I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't want to experience that ever again, but does that make sense? I'm not trying to shy away from reality and how hard some days can be, It's normal, but the shelteredness of being a kid, if that makes sense, And I don't know, I just saw this last night and I was like, I wonder what, hopping on here, what kind of feelings this would bring up, and just all the memories and stuff, the nostalgia. I think it's okay to be nostalgic, but it's not okay to just live in the past, I think it's important that you continue taking steps forward every day, regardless of how hard it might be, and wishing that I could be in the past. I know that I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna grow. I'm not gonna succeed if I don't try to keep taking steps forward. I don't know if if I have a lesson in this. I mean, my lesson is, like, I wish I wasn't so selfish, self-centered, and greedy and unappreciative. Not that I was unappreciative. I wish I appreciated everything as a kid more that I had. Like, I had a great life growing up. I was lucky enough to have two parents, and I still have two parents, right? I was lucky enough to have great friends that I'm still friends with today, that I had, back in 2011, 2012, when this game came out, we all played together. I'm so glad I had a roof over my head every day, every year, I didn't have to worry about stuff like that. And as you get older, it's like you never realize, like, some kids in my class, like, you're so sheltered from it. I remember kids in my class that I remember hearing about as I got older, like that struggled with their home life and stuff. And I wish I knew and realized it back then. If there's anything I could have done to help them, and I don't know where they are to this day. It's crazy. That's life. It's the not so fun part of life, being a kid, I never wished that anyone would struggle or have a hard time, and realizing it now after learning about them, it's like I didn't know what they went through. I didn't know they were having such a hard time. This is cool. I remember, I feel like there was like a map that had like these little hangars and jet planes in it. But no, it's pretty cool having thinking that I was an OG player of this game, of the best-selling game in the world of all time. And me and my friends just hung out, It's really cool being part of something. Being part of a creation. Oh my gosh. And there's no sprinting. That's one part I did not miss. I never had to experience the not sprinting part because we played in the version that had sprinting and hunger already. Dude, where the heck am I? I don't even know where spawn is at this point. Oh my gosh, there's so many mobs out here. I don't want to make this video, but longer than it needs to be. But I get it. For me, I'm fortunate enough, and that's the part. Again, as a kid, I never realized that I had it better than probably 99% of kids growing up. And I wish I was more thankful for it back then. But yeah, I think I might reach out to some friends and see if they want to hop on here and play with me. Or even just play together again, like this is really cool. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great day. And as we have Thanksgiving here in the US coming up, I'm just doing what I can to just be thankful for everything, that I have now and I had in the past, whatever it may be. Trying not to lose sight of that, how much I have to be thankful for every day. And again, I wish I was more thankful as a kid. And Thanksgiving has just become one of my favorite holidays, just where it's like a day I absolutely get to spend the whole day with my family, versus, and it's more of a blessing now. Being in school, having to come home for Thanksgiving, getting like a couple days to spend with my family, and then having to go back to school, I looked forward to that. I longed for that time, I cherished it way more than I did as a kid when Thanksgiving rolled around, because it's like, oh, it's just like another day, and never understanding why it's so special and why it's celebrated. I understand the reason behind it and, the history of it when Thanksgiving came to be, but really the true reason behind, celebrating it. And oh, how did he? What the heck? He's got reach. Yeah, so can't wait for Thanksgiving this year. Just get to spend the day with my family. And my house is pretty cool. We always open it up to anyone that may not have a place to go for the day, or any family to see or whatnot. So we always have a couple friends come over. Some of my friends, some of my parents' friends, or whatever, just an open invite. And again, I never understood why, like, oh, why is so-and-so here? My parents are like, oh, we just wanted to let them join us. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Not realizing, like, man, they didn't have anywhere to go. Like, I didn't, I just didn't know that. I didn't realize it. I was too self-centered to realize that. So yeah, I always, like, at work, I've already reached out to my coworkers and be like, hey, if anybody doesn't have a place to go or isn't seeing family and wants to hang out with me for the day, they're welcome over at my house, Like, I'm just trying to do what I can. I want to make sure that everyone feels loved and thankful and appreciative for everything they do, So I think I'm gonna call it here. I might just go get started on finding a place to live around here, but I appreciate you being here. I hope that maybe if you heard this, watched this, listened to this, any part of this, that you just maybe feel thankful for one part of your life that you maybe weren't thankful or appreciative until now. So, I appreciate you being here, watching, taking the time out of your day to be here. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great day tomorrow. And yeah. Oh, the music. Oh man, this hits. All right. I'll catch you later.